Hello everyone, thank you for being here. So I thought I would open up the stream a little early so I can have a chat before we start our study session. So if you are here already or waiting, thank you for waiting and being here. And do feel free to say hello in the chat. Let me know how you're doing today. So this is an unusual stream for me to do. Normally I would be streaming a lesson, but I have decided to experiment with something a little different. And this is all to do with me trying to change my mindset to be more productive and to remove distractions so that I am more efficient when I'm working or studying. And it's something that I think would benefit my students. So the idea is that we come together for these study sessions. You choose something that you need to work on. It might be that you need to work on your English skills and you want to really focus on a specific area of your language skills. Maybe you're doing an activity within a workbook, or you need to read a few pages of an English novel. Maybe you're a polyglot learning multiple languages and you know that you need to do some more work on one of your other languages. Maybe you've got a work project that you need to work on, or you are preparing for an exam. So you decide what it is you should spend some time doing. Turn off your phone, remove any distractions, and commit to spending an hour with me working on that project. I'm going to work on my project. I have an assessment to do, and I'm going to only have my phone to show me the time. So I'm going to do a timer of about 25 minutes, and then we'll have a 5-minute break, have a little chit chat, and then we'll do another half hour, 25 minutes. Okay? So you decide what it is you're going to work on for the next hour, and then I want you to write that into the chat. So it's telling the world, telling the universe, this is what I'm going to do. And that's all about accountability. Letting people know this is what I intend to do. This is what I'm going to focus on doing for the next hour. And then as we go through the session, give me an update. Let me know how you're getting on, and I'll tell you how I'm getting on with my work. If I finish my assessment before the end of the hour, I'll let you know and I'll move on to my next project. So hello everyone. Thank you for popping a comment into the chat. And if you like these kind of study sessions, these accountability sessions, then I will do more of them, because there's plenty of occasions where I'm sat here working and I should really focus. And I'm happy to share my workspace and my study time with you. So if you like getting together to do some purposeful study or work, then let's do it together. Why not? Let's just hang out. Okay. So Romelia, hello, thank you for joining me. Romelia is one of my students on my courses, and you're going to study for your Cambridge exam. Okay, fantastic. You said your study mood is so motivating. Good. Okay, I have got some rain sounds playing in the background. I hope that you like that. A bit of soothing sound. The rain taking over, but not distracting in any way. I've got lots of you asking how I am and how things are going. I'm good. I've done some exercise this morning. I've just had lunch. It was a healthy lunch. It was a rice and falafel salad. So I'm feeling ready to sit down and focus on some work. Wow, lots of you here. Fantastic. Hello. Hello. Hello from Bath. Hello from Mozambique. Where am I from? I'm in London, or Greater London. So I live within the M25. I'm in the south. Hello from Sri Lanka. Hello in Kurdistan. Brilliant. Hello in Poland. Hello in Ukraine. Hello in Italy. Mohammed, you say, I am at work, but the ambience is outstanding. I can hear the rain pouring down. I love your accent and what you are providing. Thank you so much. And you've given me 5 roses. Thank you. I do love flowers. Okay, so it's 1 o'clock. Hello, everyone, just joining. This is a study session. You're going to choose something to work on for the next hour. That could be preparing for an exam, doing some language learning, catching up on some work, responding to emails. But try to make a decision what you're working on, remove all distractions. We will have a break halfway through, but for now, let's just do some more. Okay, I'm going to get on and do my assessment. Work hard. Let's see what we can achieve. Okay, that's 25 minutes in. Who's still with me? Hi, everyone. For those of you who have only recently joined and are completely confused about what's going on, this is simply a work or study session. So I'm sitting here working hard, trying really hard to focus and not allow myself to get distracted. I don't know about you, but I find it very hard to focus on one task and not allow myself to be distracted by an email notification or a message or a phone call. Sometimes I get bored doing the one task and I allow myself to check something, look at my emails, or to go onto YouTube, look at the news, something like that, because I'm feeling a little bit fed up with what I'm doing. So by doing a session like this with other people, it helps me to hold myself accountable, realize that actually I do get distracted easily, and with someone watching me, it makes me focus harder to try and complete my task within the set time. And actually, I'm doing really well. I'm whipping through this project that I'm working on right now. So tell me, what are you working on? And in those first 25 minutes, how have you managed to get on with that? Are you progressing? Okay, so I've got lots of you here saying hello. And some of you are asking about the rain, whether it's really raining. Yes, and it was raining quite heavily, actually. We've had a series of storms over the last 3 days. Thunder and lightning. It's been quite exciting. A little scary sometimes too. We have a wisteria that's all across the front of our house. So it's quite a big vine that goes across our porch and up the house, and the wind and the rain was so strong that it managed to tear it down from the front of the house. Luckily, I think the vine is okay. I don't think it's been damaged. We've managed to pin it back up to the house now. But yeah, it's a little bit scary in the middle of the night when you hear these almighty crashes, noises, and you think, what on earth is going on? So tell me what you're working on today in our session. So Romelia, you're doing your exam prep, but not quite successful. You're trying to write an essay. What's distracting you? What's preventing you from feeling like you're progressing, making progress? Often a change in our mindset or a small change in behavior can make a big difference over a long period of time. Like I said, I always allow myself to be distracted when I get a little bit bored. So by removing distractions, for example, sometimes I think, oh, I just need a drink, or I just need to go to the loo. I need a snack. I don't really, I'm just bored. So if I make sure that before a study session or a work session, I go to the bathroom, I bring myself a drink, nice big drink, and I bring something like mints or chewing gum, so that if I have a craving, I can just nip it in the bud. To nip something in the bud is to cut something, stop something before it becomes a bigger thing. Okay, so having a piece of chewing gum or a mint nips my little snack craving in the bud. What else are you guys working on? Laura, I've been spending quite a lot of time meditating lately on my own, but I agree with you. Being accountable for someone else helps focusing. So being, don't confuse it with the word being. Being, B-E-I-N-G, being accountable to someone else helps you to focus. Jen, how do you come up with all these new ideas for videos? I find them highly useful. Sometimes I get inspiration from just watching lots and lots and lots and lots of YouTube videos and combining ideas or taking an idea and developing it. I also think a lot. I'm in touch with many of my course students. We connect all the time on Telegram, and I'm always asking for opinions and ideas and suggestions. And I'm always thinking about how I can improve your learning experience, reading books about self-improvement and habits, talking to other polyglots and other teachers. So it's just about constantly ruminating, thinking, and trying to come up with different things to do. I'm also the kind of person who gets bored easily of doing the same thing, so I'm always looking to find variety. Okay, so just a few more minutes of chit chat and then I'm going to get back to work and complete my project. See, man, you said I can't say I'm really working. I'm just getting tremendously bored with math. Oh dear, it's tricky. I'm assuming that you're studying maths, so you're going to do an exam or something. Sometimes we have to study a subject we don't really want to. So in those cases, you have to set yourself goals and reward yourself for making progress. If you don't have the natural motivation, then you have to create motivation. So giving yourself set rewards for achieving certain things in that study period. Manuel, hello. I bring you a cup of tea. Yeah, mine's getting a little bit cold now. Fabrice, I can focus quite easily, but I am sometimes disturbed by messages I get. But they are kind of breaks. They are a kind, so you need a little article there. They are a kind of break, take off the S, and I take them like breaths that I enjoy before focusing again. The problem with allowing yourself to be distracted is that, I can't remember the exact number, but it can take you actually a long time, much longer than you would expect, to get back into the rhythm of what you were doing before. And so what you think is a 30-second distraction or a 2-minute distraction can actually turn into a 15-minute pause from the level of productivity you were at before you got distracted. I find it normally I have maybe 20 or 30 tabs open on my computer, and I'm often progressing maybe 4 or 5 different things at the same time. And this is usually because I'm uploading and downloading content. So it might be that I've just recorded a podcast and I'm downloading the audio, and that's going to take a few minutes. So rather than wait, I start doing something else, like doing a lesson plan. And so I'm searching, and then I think, oh, I must make sure that I upload some material for my editor. And so then I'm uploading, but that's going to take a few minutes before I can write the notes to my editor with the link to the content. So I'm always waiting. So I'm always juggling a number of projects. And if I allow myself to get distracted, I look back at my 20 tabs and say, oh, what was I doing? Oh, where was I? It's terrible. I lose my thread, or I lose my chain of thought. All these balls I was juggling, and I allow them to all drop because of one message or because I wanted to be distracted for a moment. Okay, so with that said, taking a slightly longer break, but let's take the next 20 minutes continuing to work on whatever it is you need to work on. I'm going to finish this, and yeah, let's stop procrastinating. Let's stop putting it off and get down to work. Hardcore focus, 20 minutes. Let's go. Let me just say, in case you're wondering why I'm sometimes talking to myself doing this, it's because I'm doing a pronunciation assessment. So I'm listening to a student that sent me their recordings and I'm assessing them. So sometimes I will mouth what they're saying so I can feel what they're doing to then offer them guidance in correcting that sound. So I'm not crazy, blah, 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 doing all this weird talking to myself. Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to distract you. Well, there we go. That's another half hour past. We're coming to the end of this study session, and I personally have found that really useful. You guys stopped me from getting distracted, and I was able to plow through. To plow through is just get on with something. I plowed through. I completed my assessment in record time, actually, because I didn't allow myself to get distracted at all. And I'm now partway through my second assessment that he's doing today. So thank you for being here and supporting my work study session. How about you? What did you do in this last hour? Have you managed to do something productive? And have you enjoyed this session? What I'm going to do is look at my diary and come up with some more blocks of time where I know I'm just going to sit down and work. And I'll invite you to join me. And you can bring your projects and we can just hang out and work together. Use each other to keep ourselves focused. Okay? So let me know how you're getting on, how you found that session. Okay. So lots of you, some of you having a chat during the session, that's fine. You find support and the answers you need in the chat box, that's great. It's a great way to connect with other English learners around the world. Fabrice, one of your comments here is, it's always reassuring and satisfying to be ahead of schedule, Anna, because it's often the other way around when you are very busy and solicited. Yes, I love when I can get ahead of schedule. It's very hard when you're creating content for several different platforms and putting out. So now I'm doing, not only am I doing content daily on Instagram, TikTok, my YouTube Shorts channel and Facebook, but I'm also doing a weekly podcast which is the English Like a Native podcast. For those of you who haven't heard the announcement, do come and listen. The podcast is on all the major streaming services. And then a weekly video lesson. And the video lessons take me about 5-6 days to create. So a weekly lesson on YouTube, and then all the daily content on the other channels, and then running my courses, running the eLearn community, and everything that goes into keeping that afloat, looking after my teachers and my staff, looking after my students. So if I can get ahead of schedule, it really takes some of the pressure off. To take pressure off means to relieve the pressure. Makes you feel more relaxed, more in control. Usually September is a very busy, crazy month. Those of you with children, your children are going back to school. Those of you who work as teachers in schools, oh, it's a crazy month because you're going back to school and starting all the new students in their classes and new year. It can be a little crazy. So I've read Zero to Mastery Marketing book, 200 pages. You've read 200 pages in an hour. Wow, I'm very, very impressed. Oh, well done. How is the book? Is it good? Is it worth reading? Well, I had a very nice company and support during the management of my chores. It's a nice way to put it. We tend to say doing my chores, or yeah, doing my chores. And you'd say I enjoyed the nice company and support while doing my chores. I always like having something to relieve the boring nature of doing chores. So I tend to either put the radio on, or the news, or listen to a book on Audible, and yeah, feel like I'm using the time productively. I'm being physically productive doing my chores, but I'm also keeping my mind active. Okay. And let me just bring this background noise down a little bit. So yeah, let me know if you found this session useful, and if you're willing to join me again, that would be amazing. You can help me to be better at focusing on my tasks until I've completed. Seaman, Anna, for this summer, I have to read one between On the Road by, I don't know how to pronounce that name, Kerouac, and The Catcher in the Rye. Yeah, that's a great book. Unfortunately, both written by American writers. Anyway, which one do you suggest? Would you suggest? You don't need me. You don't say suggest me. Say suggest to me, but you don't need me. Which one do you suggest? So you might be interested to know that I'm actually going to start doing some reading practice, where I'll be reading some novels with the text on screen so you can read along. And I'll be starting off with some Charles Dickens, which is a classic writer. And you've got some Jane Austen work as well. But there's so many things. It depends on what you're into. I'd always say choose a book that satisfies you. What do you like to read? I don't tend to enjoy reading fiction. I like to read self-improvement books. So highly recommend Atomic Habits, for example. It's one I'm working my way through a second time because I've enjoyed it so much. And I think it's a fantastic book for anyone who's trying to gain a skill as an adult. So language learners, I would highly recommend it. Atomic Habits. I am learning English and Spanish. Amazing. I suppose that living in the moment is better than projecting ourselves ahead, and that would make very effective any given moment. Yeah, I agree with you. Being present makes everything much more enjoyable. We spend far too much time either thinking about the past or thinking about the future and not enjoying the moments that we have here and now. So I completely agree with you. Charles Dickens and Jane Austen for English learners. Well, any material in English for English learners, absolutely. It's all English practice. These are classic novelists. So the thing is with some of the Charles Dickens work is it gives you a good idea of, if you're interested in British English, it gives you an idea of, you know, the history of Britain, British culture hundreds of years ago. So, or 100 years ago. No, it's more than that now. It's more than that now. I forget how far we are along in time. But yeah, it gives you an insight, especially, so the book I'm starting off with is Oliver Twist, and that gives you insight into London back in the day and how people lived, how people talk, how people dress in that time. So yeah, I do recommend it. The thing is with these particular novelists as well is that I can use them in my lessons because they are copyright free, they're in public domain. So good for me. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I do have more work to do, so I will be leaving you in a second, but I'll just answer a few more comments. Anna, your British accent, RP, is super. Thank you. In fact, I was reading the book with RP. Please continue such sessions, 1 hour study with me, at least once, ONCE, once a week or twice a month. I intend to. I'm glad you enjoyed it and found it useful. Thank you, Manuel. Thank you for inviting me, Anna. I back you whatever thing you put in practice. So I back you whatever you do. Think of that as one phrase. Whatever you do, I'm with you. Whatever you do, I don't mind. Yeah, whatever you do. Whatever you do, I'm there. So I back you whatever you do. Or I will back everything you put into practice. So into practice, put into practice. But thank you for the support, Manuel. My development in English, take away my development in English is slow, but is stable. Do you know, this is something that's talked about in Atomic Habits. It's really important to make small changes and to stick with those. If you made a 1% change every day over the course of a year, mathematically, apparently, it's supposed to amount to an overall change of about 37%. I don't understand math, so I don't know why it's 37%, but what they're suggesting is a small incremental change every day amounts to a huge change or a noticeable change by the end of a year period. Now, what we tend to do is when we make changes to our diet, to our daily routine, if we don't see the results, then we say, well, it's not worth it. I'll go back to my old way of doing things, which may not be very productive or may not be good habits. And it's very easy to give up on our new good habits if we don't see those results. But sometimes we're just one moment away from that big change. So in the book Atomic Habits, they give an example of a block of ice in a room that's, I can't remember where they started off, but maybe it's like a room that's at 24 degrees and the block of ice sits there. And they slowly put the temperature up. And with every degree change, the ice just stays there without any change. But when it gets to something like 36 degrees, with one more change to the temperature, suddenly the ice melts very quickly. So that was a 1 degree change that made the impact, the visible impact that we saw with the ice. But it was a culmination. It wasn't just that 1 degree, it was a culmination of all the degrees that came before it. And it's the same with learning anything, changing a habit, exercising, becoming fit, becoming a healthy eater, quitting smoking, meditating every day. You might not see or realize the progress you're making, but being consistent, embodying the kind of behavior that your target self would embody, eventually will lead you to where you want to be. So if you want to be a polyglot, if you want to be fluent in English, then you need to inhabit the behavior that fluent English speakers embody. What do? They speak in English every day. They have conversations with people regularly. They listen to the radio, to podcasts. They watch their favorite series, their films, their YouTube videos in English on a regular basis. So don't be goal orientated. Try not to think about, I have to achieve this goal or it's not working. Just think about your identity, who you want to be, and employ those behaviors. Okay, I'm going to get on with my work. I'm about 15 minutes away from doing an interview for my podcast, so I need to set up for that. I'm going to say thank you again, everyone, for joining me, and I will let you know when my next study with me session will be. So thank you, everyone. Have a good afternoon or evening or morning, wherever you are in the world. Take care.